All right, today we're going to talk about something called perimeter. Okay, yesterday we learned about different types of polygons. Well, when you talk about polygons, one of the things you can do is find the perimeter. And to understand what perimeter is, you have to see the two words inside the word perimeter. By the way, every year when I ask a class what those two words are, the first word they immediately say is per, because they know that it's one of the key words in math. But actually, per is not one of the two words inside of there. Think about it for a minute. Do you think you can figure out what those two words are? All right, so one of the words is rim, and the other word is meter. What is a rim? A rim is the outside of something. And what is a meter? It's a unit of measurement. So what is perimeter? It's the distance outside a polygon. Now, how do you find perimeter? Well, if I had a rectangle that looks like this, and I wanted to find the perimeter, I would take my handy-dandy ruler and I would measure the length of each side. And then I would add those lengths together, which gives you a general rule for any polygon that says perimeter of a polygon is equal to S1 plus S2 plus S3 plus ... SL. And again, you say, what the heck is an S1 and an S2? Well, S1 stands for side 1, and S2 stands for side 2, and S3 stands for side 3. And the ... means to keep adding the sides till you get to SL. Anyone have any idea what the L stands for? It's the last side. So you add side 1 plus side 2 plus side 3 plus all the way to the last side. And in plain old ordinary English, what that means is just add the distances around the outside. And if you ever need to find the perimeter of any polygon, that's a sure way to find it. Just add the distances around the outside. However, there are certain polygons that you can do faster because there are characteristics of that polygon that make it easier. For example, in a rectangle, isn't it true that this length is the same as this length, and this width is the same as this width? So instead of adding length plus width plus length plus width, I can condense it by saying length plus length, instead of adding the length twice, would just be 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. So again, if you want the perimeter of a rectangle, the formula would be 2L plus 2W. And it's interesting, sometimes in algebra, instead of using 2L plus 2W, they'll use 2 times L plus W, the sum of L and W. And again, that's the distributive property of multiplication over addition. Instead of multiplying first and then add, you could add first and then multiply. By the way, I find this formula is much more helpful when you're in geometry and you're trying to find perimeter, whereas this formula is more helpful when you're doing algebra and you're trying to find a missing length. So again, both of these represent the same perimeter. Now, the other one that has a special one is a square. And what do I know about a square? Well, it's basically a rectangle where all 4 sides are congruent, the same measurement. So instead of adding the length of the side 1 plus the same side 1 plus the same side 1 plus the same side 1, a faster way to do that would just be to do 4 times s. So the perimeter of a square is 4 times the length of one side. Since all the sides are the same, you just go 4 times the length of the sides. And by the way, a regular polygon is a polygon with all sides congruent. A square is a regular polygon with 4 sides. An equilateral triangle is a regular polygon with 3 sides. So for any regular polygon, the formula would be n times s. N stands for the number of sides, and s stands for the length of the sides. So if I want to find the perimeter of, say, a regular octagon, which you all know what a regular octagon is. Does anyone know what a regular octagon is? I'll give you a hint. On your way to school, you most probably see a couple of dozen of them. Anyone have an idea? A regular octagon is a stop sign. So if you had a regular octagon, the number of sides would be 8, and the length of the side would be s. So the perimeter of a regular octagon would be 8s. And a regular pentagon would be 5s, and a regular hexagon would be 6s. So again, these formulas are here to make it easier for you to find the perimeter rather than just adding all the sides together. But if you ever get stuck and you can't remember the formula for perimeter, just add the length of the sides together. Now, when you find the perimeter for your homework, I don't want you just to look at the problem and write the answer. If you had a rectangle, and if I told you that the length was 5 centimeters and the width was 3 centimeters, okay, I know you can most probably go in your head, 5 plus 3 is 8, and double 8 is 16, so the perimeter is 16 centimeters. But just like I'm picky about you showing the right steps for algebra, I want you to show the right steps for geometry. I want you to first write the formula, perimeter of a rectangle equals 2 times the sum of L plus W. That's the one I like to use. And then I want you to rewrite it, replacing L with the value of 5 centimeters, and then replacing W with the value of 3 centimeters. And then after you write the formula and replace the values in it, then if you want to do it in your head, and then say the answer is 16 centimeters, then that's correct. And again, if you had a square whose sides were 9 inches, again, you'd have to start by writing perimeter of a square equals, and then you could write, 4s, that's the formula, and then you could replace s with 9 inches. And again, I want to see the formula, I want to see you replace the value in the formula, and then you can write your answer of 36 inches. So that's what your homework is on tonight. It's really pretty simple, especially if you can remember that perimeter is the measurement, the meter of the rim, the outside of a polygon.